Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to fundamentally challenge how you view reality itself. And more importantly, we're going to show you how this massive perspective shift can completely revolutionize your leadership toolkit. So, let's dive right in and explore a concept that might just change the way you interact with your teams, your organization, and well, the world at large.
Let's kick things off with a deceptively simple question. Is the world actually how we see it? Most of us just go about our daily lives, especially our professional lives, assuming that what we observe is just plain objective fact. But what if the very foundation of what we consider to be true is actually something else entirely? To get to the bottom of this, author Kenneth Gergen tells this absolutely fantastic story. He was showing his 4-year-old grandson, Sean, some vintage black and white photographs of their ancestors and early motor cars. When they finished, little Sean looks up, totally deadpan, and asks, "In the old days, was everything in black and white?" Now, Gergen roared with laughter, of course, but then it hit him. Sean just assumed the photograph told the absolute truth about the world. And honestly, we kind of do the exact same thing every single day. We might chuckle at Sean's innocent question, but it actually reveals the beating heart of our topic today. So the crucial point is this definition of social constructionism. The basic proposal here is that what we take to be the truth about the world doesn't just exist out there independently. It importantly depends on the social relationships and conventions that we're a part of. Whether a photo or even a word tells the truth is literally a matter of social agreement.
Section 1. The illusion of objective truth.
We really need to completely dismantle the traditional view of how we acquire knowledge. If you're a manager or a leader, you probably rely heavily on the facts, right? But where do those facts actually come from? Traditionally, we make this fundamental distinction between the world and the person. We tend to believe the individual mind is like a blank slate, passively observing the world, like an eye taking in a mushroom or a mountain. We think we're just out there discovering objective, independent facts through observation and rational thinking.
But the constructionist view, it flips this completely. Knowledge doesn't actually start in an isolated mind just staring at a mountain. It is actually created in the relationships and the dialogue between people. In this model, we relate with one another first, and through that participation, we interpret the world. Basically, we construct it for what it is, together.
Section 2. What is social construction?
So, if knowledge is relational, what exactly does this mean for our everyday lives, our businesses, and our organizational structures? Let's break down the core mechanics of how we actually construct our reality. First off, words do not simply act as a mirror reflecting a pre-existing world. Instead, our shared language literally brings meaningful realities into existence. Truth depends entirely on our social agreements. Think about it. If a friend says, "My grandfather died," a biologist understands that as a cessation of bodily functions, while someone from a different tradition might say he's gone to heaven. Both are relying on different traditions of sense-making. The event itself doesn't demand just one description. Meaning is always co-created.
Section 3. Many views, many use.
To really grasp the practical, everyday impact of this, let's look at how this theory applies directly to something super close to home, defining who you are. Who are you really? Well, it depends entirely on the observer. To a biologist, you're a mammal. To a hairdresser, you're just someone who needs a haircut. Walk into a bank, and to the banker, you're a future customer. Sit on a therapist's couch, and you might be defined as slightly neurotic. So which one is the true you? The answer is that none of these labels are objectively truer than the other. They are just different working vocabularies. A banker needs words like profit and customer, while a therapist needs words like feeling and neurotic. These vocabularies serve the specific, valued goals of those specific groups. As a leader, realizing that the labels you use in your organization are just working vocabularies and not unchangeable laws of nature is a massive breakthrough.
Section 4. Deconstruction to reconstruction.
Realizing that our most basic fundamental truths are just working vocabularies can be incredibly disorienting at first. It kind of shakes the ground beneath your feet, but it's also where the magic happens. I absolutely love this quote from one of Gergen's students, who perfectly summarized this feeling. Once you get into constructionist ideas, all the furniture begins flying out the window. When you truly grasp this concept, everything you thought was fixed, rigid, and undeniable suddenly becomes fluid. But don't panic. This isn't about destroying everything.
The point of this flying furniture isn't that nothing is real. It's not about abandoning all values or throwing scientific progress out the window. It's actually the total opposite. It's only because we socially construct our reality that there are meaningful realities and valued actions in the first place. The incredible takeaway here is that we are no longer bound by the chains of history or tradition. We have the absolute freedom to reconstruct our reality. If a system isn't working, guess what? We can just change the conversation.
Section 5. Leading by Reconstructing Reality.
And that brings us to the ultimate power of social constructionism for leaders, managers, and anyone driving organizational change. This isn't just abstract philosophy, you guys. It is a highly practical leadership tool. Instead of getting stuck in a traditional, rigid view where we say things like, the power lies exclusively with the leaders, or this situation is a catastrophic problem, constructionist leaders can rebuild those realities. By changing the working vocabulary, you can construct a reality where power lies with the workers, or you can reframe a problem entirely into an opportunity. You aren't just putting a positive spin on an objective fact. Through dialogue, you are literally constructing a new organizational reality.
Think of social construction as an umbrella, or a meta-perspective. It sits above all other disciplines, like economics, neurology, history, management, the whole shebang. Under this umbrella, you stop asking, which of these is the absolute truth with a capital T? And instead, you ask a much more pragmatic question. What is actually achieved by adopting this specific vocabulary? This lets you step back and reflect on whether your current management style is actually serving your team's goals, or if it's just a tradition you've blindly accepted.
This meta-perspective leads directly to what we call relational leadership. In this model, your primary tool isn't locking yourself in an office to be the individual genius who dictates facts to the team. Actually, scratch that. It's all about facilitating collective dialogue. You replace contentious battles over who is right with mutual probing for new possibilities. You foster what Gergen calls generative discourses, ways of talking that challenge tired, existing traditions, and collaboratively co-create new, highly effective ways of understanding and acting within your company.
The freedom to create change is always with us. Transforming your organization doesn't require waiting for a new set of laws or some outside expert. The moment we begin to speak together, we have the potential to create new and more promising ways of being. So, as you step into your workplace today, remember that you are absolutely not bound by the status quo. I'll leave you with this provocative thought. What reality will you choose to construct in your very next conversation?